Welcome back to The Mission Deserved. I'm your host, Tina Marie Dominguez, and I know it has been a little while. So, think maybe I did 3 episodes and then I took a little bit of a pause, but now I'm back. And I kind of want to share with you why I took a pause and what was going on through my mind, things that were happening, and all of that stuff. And I want to share it with you because I feel like it's very relatable to a lot of you who are newer in this coaching space, and maybe not even newer. Maybe you've been doing this for a while, and maybe you're not even coaches. Maybe you are a solopreneur or entrepreneur or someone who is just getting into this. So I feel like it could be helpful just to kind of share what was going on and what I did and where I am now. So, with that said, there was a pretty significant pause in podcast episodes. And that stems from me lacking some clarity and kind of feeling out of alignment with what I was doing. Now, the creative part of me is almost always overflowing. It is what I love to do. I love to create. Sitting behind this computer at this desk, creating things by myself, I get lost for hours. I'm in my zone of genius. And I feel like even though it's something that I'm creating sometimes for other people, it's also for me because I enjoy it so much and it just allows me to just be in my zone, right? Without anything else going on. I get lost in it and I just love it. Now, with that said, posting things to Instagram and creating courses or creating presentations, things that I can help teach or educate people on, right? Creating those type of things I also really love doing. I love facilitating and educating in some type of way. I didn't really know that until probably 2019. This goes back to when I first got my job as a creative at Apple. Now, clearly, I did like to educate and kind of coach and do things like that because I was a personal trainer, because I did coach CrossFit and I did things like that. So, yes, I did have that in me. But it really wasn't until I became a creative at Apple that I realized just how much I enjoyed facilitating these sessions where I was showing people how to do things, how to get from A to B or just how to do things better. I really liked being in the room, so to speak, and connecting with people in that way, even though it does really drain me because I am still pretty much an introvert, but I enjoyed it. Like the pros definitely outweighed the cons. Now, over time, that's kind of all led into where I am now. So, the creative piece and also being in the room to coach people or help people along is something that I really enjoy, that I didn't know that I would enjoy that much, right? So, there came a point when I was really focused on creating content to help my ideal client, my target audience, and people that were following me on Instagram. And it was a mixture of content, things that were helpful, educational, made you think, sometimes funny, sometimes followed Reels trends, like all of that stuff. So I was covering all the bases and I was providing content based off of what people that were following me, my audience, was telling me that they wanted or needed. And I think that's important. I suggest that if you are in a space where you are creating content for a target audience, especially if you're a health and fitness coach, a lot of your content should be based on what your audience is telling you that they want or that they need. With that said, I started finding myself starting to think about creating other types of content that I saw other creators making. And it was because people liked it. Like people just ate this shit up. They wanted to know, like, what are the trending songs? what song should I be using in my next reel to hopefully get more views or make it go viral, whatever. They wanted to know all the cool little transition tips and all the camera tricks and all of that stuff. And I get that because I I like learning and knowing that stuff too. I don't necessarily care about trending songs or finding the latest trends for reels to make my reel go viral. That I don't really care about too much. But I do like quality edits. I do like trying new things and having my content look different or trying different editing skills, like all of that stuff. But over time, I began to find myself, it's like, I don't want to be like some of these other accounts. There are maybe, there's three accounts off the top of my head who are creators who help with this type of thing that I really, really admire and respect. Actually, I am in a program with one of them and someone else I've had a phone call with, and I'm going to work with her, like, not in a big way. I like what she's doing and what she's about enough that I wanted an hour of her time, to get some guidance and mentorship from her. And then there's a third one who I can't remember her Instagram name, but I do remember what her content looks like and why it stuck out to me and why I like her. And then there are several other content creators. There's nothing wrong with them. They're great. I know some of them in person. I like them as people. They've had incredibly fast growth on their platform and they're doing great. And I love that for them, right? But I don't want to be like them. Do I want my account to grow? Do I want to reach people and help people by getting like my message and my content out there? Yes, absolutely. Do I want to do it in a way that doesn't feel good to me? 100% no, I do not. So I saw that there were some people who they blew up because all they posted about was Reels trends or how to do certain things on Reels, how to basically not copy, because we know Reels content, there's really nothing that's original anymore. Everyone sees something and they take inspiration from it. Hopefully, it's inspiration and not just blatantly copying things, but you take inspiration, you make it your own, you move on. Now, if it is a trend or a lip syncing trend, then it's not really going to be that much different unless you are putting different types of text or you're just making it visually look different. So I think you get what I'm saying, right? So some people, they blew up, built their platform off of that because obviously Reels was blowing up. They saw a need, they were good at it, they filled that need, and boom, like they blew up because people wanted to learn those things. They wanted their Reels to be good and they wanted to get their stuff out there. And then there's other people who similarly not just niched down to Reels, but it was about this is the latest music trend or this is the latest lip sync trend or the hacks and how to do this, how to do that, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with that. They do a great job. I am not knocking them by any means. When it came to what I wanted to do, none of that felt right. I didn't want to just post or talk about the surface level stuff. And as I've gone on and the people that I've been working with, especially people that are in my group right now, I always ask questions on my intake form because I want to know where these people are at, what's their thought process, and where do they want to go, and everything in between. And almost every single person tells me that they want to either grow their following. In a nutshell, it's grow their following, but ultimately it's they want to get more leads so that they can get more clients. Now, if you are in the health and fitness space, this answer is kind of like that surface level answer that your potential clients give you when they hire you. They're like, I just want to lose 10 pounds, right? Like that's the surface level answer. But we all know that there's generally a deeper meaning behind why they want to lose the weight or why they want to achieve said goal. And it's the same thing with this. So that's generally the surface level answer that I get. Like they want more leads because they want more clients, right? Obviously, we all want to make money. I get that. Now, as I start to ask more question and peel back those layers of the onion, almost 9 times out of 10, it actually comes down to these people, the real problem, right? The real struggle, even though they're not verbalizing it right away, is that they are afraid of showing up because they're afraid of being judged. And therefore, they don't show up authentically, or they're just not showing up as the real them. And they're often afraid to talk about things that are hard. So they're afraid to be vulnerable as well. They're afraid to tell their story, even parts of their story, because they're just so worried about what people are going to think and that people are going to judge them. Now, I get that. Telling my story, even to this day, talking about certain things, even though I've told the story before, it's still difficult. It's not easy to talk about things that you've gone through, things that either maybe happened to you or things that you have done that you're not proud of. I get that 100%. So, the reason I'm telling you this is because as I've been going through my course, my Instagram content mastery course, this is the second round of beta. So, which is good because I can continue to tweak things, right? Before it finally launches. And it was in, and I'm looking at my calendar up here, it was in March that I kind of came to this realization. And I think I knew it, but something that a friend and I had spoke about, I was like, I don't want these things. Like, I don't want to be like these people. I don't want to be like that person. I don't want to do what they're doing. And I kind of came to a little bit of a block because earlier in the year, I had to make an unexpected trip home. And my cousin, who I think she's in her 40s, I was not aware that she even consumed my content, but she did, or she does. She made a comment because my family was talking about lifting and all these things that, I do or that they've seen. And she made a comment, and it was something like, yeah, and you're a motivational speaker. And it kind of stopped me in my tracks because I was like, no, I am not a motivational speaker. I was like, what? And the reason that I kind of had that knee jerk reaction, not that motivational speakers are bad, there's nothing wrong with them. But for me, I don't want to come across as someone who is just spewing motivation and cheering you on and I guess platitudes, right? Without actually giving you something to help, like an action step that you can do that's going to actually help move the needle forward. So I had that knee jerk reaction because I was like, I don't want to come across as a motivational speaker. Like every motivational speaker I see, yeah, they get you all pumped up. But once you leave, you come down and you realize that they had you feeling good during their speech, but they didn't actually give you anything that you could do. They didn't give you something to walk away with that you could implement to help you in your life or to help you just get like a little bit better. And I was like, that's absolutely what I don't want. I don't want to do that. So it kind of brought me to this block or this crossroads where I knew that I did enjoy talking about certain things, especially in my program. We talk a lot about mindset and why really knowing yourself and understanding why you're doing the things that you're doing, all of this deeper stuff, right? That's the foundation of everything. We talk about that for the first 3 weeks. The first 3 weeks is a lot of that stuff, a lot of the inner work, knowing yourself, knowing who you want to help, knowing why you're doing these things, knowing why it's important to you, all of that. And I really enjoy talking about that because that is the piece that is missing. Even though people are telling me, I just want more leads so I can get more clients, and they feel like it's because they don't know what to post, or that they may not have the technical skills, or that they don't know how to create or design, when in reality, it's not that. They could be knocking it out of the park just by showing up on video, talking to people, sharing real life shit, teaching people how to do things, like hitting those things that their ideal client or audience needs, but they're not doing it. They're not showing up in that way. Yes, they are showing value, or they're giving educational type content. They are giving good things in that sense, but they're missing the connection piece, the most important piece. They're missing the opportunity to get in front of their people, be real, share some vulnerabilities every now and then, be transparent about things, show them that they're not perfect either, or that they've stumbled in the past. And by not doing that, they're not connecting on a deeper level with their target audience. Therefore, a lot of times they may be missing out on getting those leads or the clients. And that is where I feel my best or my happiest talking about, because I can go on and on and on about how important it is and ways that you can try to do that, right? But ultimately, it does come down to you, the individual, and your mindset and your willingness to have a growth mindset and your willingness to embrace change and get yourself outside of your comfort zone. Which also leads me to this. If you are a coach, especially in the health and nutrition space, how can you expect your clients to do these hard things, get outside of their comfort zone, yet you're not willing to do the same? And you have to remember, what's hard for you as the coach is way different than what's hard for the client who is just getting back into it, right? Very, very different. They may be struggling with just stepping foot in the gym, or they may be struggling with just understanding how to eat better for their goals, those type of things. You probably, as the coach, already have that mastered. You've been doing it for so long, and you've been teaching it, that it is now like you've practiced it. It's a habit. It is second nature to you. So your struggles are something else. The things that are hard for you are something else. So I don't want to hear, well, I do go to the gym and I do eat right, so I'm practicing what I preach. Yeah, you are. If that's your take on it, you are. You're practicing what you preach. But when you think about it in terms of asking your people to do these hard things, get out of their comfort zone, just do it. You just got to do it. You have to be willing to do hard things and get outside of your comfort zone. So I'm just going to stop on that little rant right there. Now, to tie this all in and bring it back full circle, I paused a little bit from what I was posting on Instagram because I was thinking a lot about what direction do I want to go. I'm still doing this content marketing connection piece. Like, that's not going away. My program is not going away. I'm just refining it a little bit. And the things that I really do want to talk about, I'm going to talk about. So I think there was a piece of me that had this perspective or a belief that if I started to shift and talk about things that I really wanted to talk about, that I knew people were struggling with, and I wasn't giving all the fluffy surface level, like, here's the latest trend stuff, that it was going to affect my growth or affect my business. And maybe it will, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I know through what I'm saying, I'm actually going to be reaching the right people that I want to reach and the people that I want to work with. And it's very, very evident in this cohort that's in session right now is people who are ready and willing to put themselves out there, to have these conversations, to put in the work. The ones who, yes, they do want and need to learn the creative side, like that's still a part of it, right? They need to learn like all the things to do on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. That is all part of it. But they're also very aware that it's about them showing up authentically and being able to like talk about the hard things and just try new things and put themselves out there. So those are the people that I want to work with, the ones that are willing to do things that they're not comfortable with. And actually, not just say it, but do it. Because I asked every single one of them, are you committed to taking messy action and, doing what it takes? And every single one of them said yes. There's like 3 people who have actually done all the things. But that's to be expected. I get it. I've been through several courses and I have not shown up 100% in certain courses. So I am definitely guilty of this as well. My whole point is I, rather than posting all the surface level crap, it's not crap, but posting all the surface level stuff because I know that that's what the majority of the people out there want right now. The majority of those people are not my people and are not the people that I love working with. So, just like I teach the people that are in my course, everybody is not your audience. Everybody is not your ideal client. And while I am a huge proponent of giving value in a sense of providing resources, topics, education, posts, whatever it is, based off of what your target audience is telling you that they need help with, yes, I am a huge proponent of doing that. But also, you need to stay true to you and talk about the things that are important to you and that feel good to you. If you are a nutrition coach or anything else, right? There's probably like 3 to 5 things that you can riff off all the time. And there's probably 1 or 2 things that when you do talk about them, you feel different. Like you can feel it kind of like in your soul, like you feel some emotion behind it. You can just go on and on and on. And there's a shift in you when you talk about it, right? I'm guarantee you all have something like that, in addition to all the other things that you're knowledgeable about. And for me, I felt like that was the piece that I was not really talking about, that I was kind of pushing off to the side as an afterthought and just talked about it here and there, when really it should have been one of the primary pillars that I speak about because I am so passionate about it. And also, I know it is what people are struggling with, even if they don't come out and say it right away. It's the thing. So that's why I took a pause, because I really had to just kind of sit back and reflect. And I feel like a lot of people in this social media space who are using it for marketing and getting new clients, especially if you're not a content creator, it's hard. You're trying to find the time to create content, figure out what content resonates with your people. Plus, you're actually coaching your clients. You're doing the check ins, you're writing the programs, you're doing the nutrition prescriptions, you're doing all the things, right? You're probably a 1-person business right now, so you're wearing all the hats. So I get how content creation and showing up online can be hard sometimes, because I'm not coaching anymore. I'm just in the creative space. And I still struggle with that sometimes too, because I have these perceptions of what I think I am or am not, and what I think people want or that they don't want. So, all that to say, in a very drawn out way, is you're not alone in this. People who have been doing this for a really long time, they still have a hard time every now and then. And those people that you see that have thousands and thousands of followers or have a team around them, like their business has grown, most of them, they are not doing their own social media. They might post here and there, but they have people doing that for them. So, for one, don't ever compare yourself to them, okay? You're down here, they're way up here. They have a team around them doing all this stuff. So, when you find yourself struggling to post or feeling like the things that you're talking about aren't hitting with your people, or you're just feeling frustrated with content in general, I get it. And the one thing that I guess I would ask you to think about when you're feeling this way is, are you posting things that feel good to you? Do you feel proud of what you've posted? And I'm not talking about proud as in you spent hours and hours creating the perfect video or the most perfect, amazing graphic. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about proud as in you put something out there that you felt was going to help somebody, even if it was just one person. And if you did, that's great because you were successful, right? And I think the overall goal and something that we should consider. So I feel like this should be like the main takeaway of this podcast is to think of it as having expectations around the effort that you're putting in versus the outcome. So we get so attached to our content. I'm guilty of this too. We get so attached. We put time and effort into creating this thing. We know it's good. We spent a lot of time researching or editing, whatever it is, and then it does not get the comments or the engagement or the views that we expected, right? That we were like, this one's going to be great. So we have to detach ourselves from that and instead, like, put the expectations that you have, put those around the effort that you're giving, whether that is showing up online, whether that is the effort you're giving your clients, whether it's the effort you're putting into getting out of your comfort zone instead of the outcome. So that's what I want to leave you with. And it's probably a good time to end this because the dogs are getting a little antsy in the background. Thank you so much for following. And if you haven't already, please go check out my Instagram and follow me there because that's where I post a lot of the daily snippets of content that I think will be helpful for you. Thanks again. Have a great day.